Lave Radio? It's even louder than me. Wait a minute. That can't be right.
Get ready. Lave Radio.
Amid the stars in the sky, humanity expands and thrives as it pushes back the boundaries of the universe. From the luxury of the core systems to the harsh worlds of the frontier, men still fight. Some fight for survival or greed. Some fight for a flag and others for retribution. But across the lonely darkness, they all share one aim: to be elite.
Escape Velocity, an Elite Dangerous audio adventure serial written and produced by Christopher Jarvis. Episode 2, Cold Maneuvers.
It's getting pretty stuffy in here. It shouldn't be this stuffy, surely. Can't hear any ventilation fans. There's no air in here. Oh my god, I'm going to suffocate. Commander! Commander! Commander Thane! He can't hear me. I'm gonna die. No, I won't accept that. Commander Thane! Commander! Commander!
Okay, I'm getting there, slowly. One more jump and then onto the spaceport to refuel. Engaging hyperdrive.
Insufficient fuel.
How can I be out of fuel? I bought plenty. Let's try this again. Engaging hyperdrive.
Insufficient fuel.
Great, thanks computer. I suppose I'm going to have to go down to the hold and check the cargo myself.
Cargo bay access. Confirm identity. Identity confirmed, Commander Thane. The environmental systems in the cargo bay are currently offline.
I know. That's because it uses fuel and I don't see the point wasting energy.
Cargo bay environmental systems active. Opening pressure door.
Can't see a thing. Where the hell is the emergency light? Odd. I could have sworn the bay was full when I left. Ouch! What's that? Planet of hell, it's a body. It's that girl. Hey, wake up, kid. May, whatever your name is. Wake up! Damn.
Cardiorespiratory aid unit active. Please seal mask carefully over patient's face and attach electrodes.
Come on.
Calculating. Cardio rhythm detected. Weak respiration detected. Administering electroadrenaline.
Help! Commander, no air.
Hey. You're not hurt. I switched the fans on. You can breathe.
What?
You were unconscious. Breathe slowly, yes? I think you're fine now. Are you okay?
Yes, I think so.
In that case, you've got a hell of a lot of explaining to do. What in space are you doing on board my ship?
I needed a ride.
So you offloaded my cargo and made yourself a little nest, huh?
I didn't offload much.
Wait a minute. What did you ditch?
You
have to tell me. It's important.
I can't think straight. My head is pounding.
For which sake?
What is it? What's the matter?
What did you offload? There were 2 containers holding prototype robots. Did you offload either of those?
I'm not sure
Did you offload the cargo? Space, if you've done something to those robots...
No, hydrogen fuel. I unloaded a case of hydrogen fuel.
Just that?
Just that. I just needed a little space to crawl in and lie down.
Okay.
Are they expensive? Your robots?
I don't know. Probably. The people who hired me were difficult. I suspect that if anything happened to the shipment, the people who hired me would kill me. Would probably take it out on both of us.
So we're not in trouble?
Oh, we're in a world of trouble. Your smart little move has stranded us in an empty system with no fuel. We're marooned.
Oh.
But at least no one is coming after us.
Come.
You wanted to see me?
Dallas, what's the latest on the ship that left with the prototype?
It's registered to a Commander Thane. We analysed the hyperspace trail. After leaving, it bounced through one system, but we have it tracked. It just jumped into Mila.
What's in Mila?
Absolutely nothing. It's a binary system with no planets. Plenty of rock floating around, but no settlements or stations.
Probably not their last stop then. Unless they're meeting somebody. Is there an outbound hyperspace trail?
I've instructed our associates to recon and report back.
Good. Let me know the moment you hear anything. Any fallout from the weapons disappearance?
We're keeping a lid on it, Lorand. For now, at least.
Keep it that way.
I said I'm sorry.
You're sorry? Do you have any idea how dangerous it is to stow away in a cargo hold? Did you even know I had life support? The first hyperspace jump could have turned you inside out.
What life support? Who the hell turns off the air supply anyway?
Someone who wasn't expecting a freeloader to be hiding in his cargo bay.
Oh, come on. People must hitchhike all the time.
Not in my world, they don't. Where I come from, if a ship commander found a stowaway, they'd be dumped in deep space along with the engine waste. And nobody would ever know or care.
What are you going to do?
Luckily for you, I don't kill lost children. I need to radio for help anyway, see if I can get some fuel. I'll see if someone can take you back to Delta Pavonis.
No, you mustn't. Commander Thane, please. I can't go back to school.
Save it. You're not my problem.
You don't understand.
Look at it like this, kid. We're at the arse end of nowhere. We could just as easily die out here before ever seeing another person. I hope that puts school into some kind of perspective for you.
But Commander... Commander Thane, you simply... Wow.
What? You've never seen space?
Not like this.
I met you at the orbital station. You must have been in space before.
After I ran away, I wanted to, but I had to stay hidden. I avoided the public areas wherever I could. This is the first time I've seen space, stars, suns with my own eyes. What are those?
Those are the twin suns of Mila. One huge yellow star orbiting around a tiny but brilliant white ball of fire.
It's beautiful. What is that shimmering over there?
Asteroid field. Mostly just ice, rock, and certain death for pilots. But you're right. It is very beautiful.
I had no idea this was all out here. It's like a sea of diamonds.
On my world, they told stories about this system, even all the way out there. They called Mila the Gatekeepers, a brother and sister star watching over the comings and goings between the core systems and the frontier. my folks used to tell stories about them. When you see the gatekeepers, they'd say, that's when you know you're almost there.
You're not from the Corps?
No.
Where are you from?
Look, kid, this isn't circle time, and we're not getting to know each other. You've had your little adventure, so I'm going to get on with the distress signal while you go back to the cargo hold. I promise, it'll be all comfy this time with the oxygen, the heat and the breathing. Honestly, it'll be a palace.
But...
Let me put it a slightly different way. Get off my flight deck, kid.
My name is May.
Lorand, I've got the latest on our little problem.
Walk and talk, Dallas. I'm on my way to a meeting. And keep your voice down. I don't want anyone else finding out that we lost the prototypes, especially before this meeting with the family elders.
The family elders? What is it? Why do the old ones want to see you?
That's none of your concern.
But Lorand, if they know about our...
Be quiet. They're just making their regular intrusion into our day-to-day work, probably wanting to show an interest in the latest federal weapons contracts. Look, we were due a visit from our gods and masters soon anyway. It's just unfortunate that it had to come up now.
Have you seen them before? The elders?
Of course I have. This isn't my first day at this. It isn't yours either, so pull yourself together and focus on the task at hand. Tell me about the ship.
Our shadow followed them into Mila. They haven't gone anywhere, they're just drifting.
What are they doing?
Get this. They're out of gas.
What?
One of our associates picked up their distress call. They're out of fuel and asking for rescue.
Oh, that is just too precious. I assume I can treat the matter as dealt with then.
What do you want done?
I'd like the weapon back if possible. They are expensive. Have the whole ship seized.
And if the pilot won't surrender?
Well, I don't think we can afford to let the prototype get out into the market, do you? If we won't give up the craft and cargo, tell our associates to destroy the ship and kill the pilot.
What do you want?
I just came to tell you I've set up the distress signal. Hopefully someone will come through here and take pity on us. We've access to plenty of food and water. Mila's pretty far out, though.
Why did you come out here anyway? I thought you were heading to Semius. What happened? You fancied the scenic route?
How do you know I was going to Semius?
I heard you talking to that woman. Who was she? Your girlfriend?
Never you mind.
So come on, why not go straight to Semius? Mila is light years out the way.
Well now, look who's suddenly the expert traveller. And there was I thinking you were the doll who'd never been taken out of the box.
I am in school, remember? They teach us stuff. I know all about the systems, jump distances, hyperspace drives. All students will learn the following: political control, corporate ownership, rights of inheritance and title,
Okay,
religion,
fine.
weapons, shields, hull, arms
All
shipments,
right, I get it.
relationships, earning trust, spotting weaknesses, exploiting greed,
Hey,
directing
snap
fate,
out of it.
understanding zealots and martyrs.
What's the matter with you?
What did I do? Am I late for class? I'm sorry.
Late for... What the hell kind of school do you go to, kid?
Leave me alone.
Hey, wait! May! May! May? Are you okay?
It doesn't matter. I just can't go back to that school. The lessons hurt. They expect you to take so much in, and if you don't learn at the right speed, then they... And now you want me to go back.
Hey, I don't want you to go back. I've just got my own problems right now. It's a dangerous universe out there. I know you think school is tough, but you'll be safer there, believe me.
I just want to get back to my father. I know he'll look after me. If he knew what was happening at the school, I know he'd let me come home.
And how far do you think you'll get? I'm heading into Imperial Systems, kid. There are slavers there. Can you imagine the price they'd get for a little gem like you?
You tempted, Commander.
I don't deal in slaves. I've seen more than enough of people being treated like cattle. That doesn't make me your guardian angel either.
Well, it looks like you have your chance to offload me. There's a ship coming around in front of us. Oh, there's 2 of them.
Sidewinders, huh? That's...
Warning. Target has deployed.
May,
hardpoint.
get down!
They're shooting at us.
Wow, you really are an expert, aren't you?
Have they stopped?
I don't know.
Pilot, your ship is forfeit. You will surrender your cargo and craft. Ejecting your escape pod and no further harm will come to you. This is your only warning. You have 60 seconds to comply.
Computer, activate timer, 60 seconds. Audio feedback on last 5 seconds only.
Timer started.
Are you going to do what they say?
There's 2 problems with that plan. Firstly, the escape pod is only big enough for 1. They obviously don't know about you.
And the second problem?
Yeah, I don't actually have an escape pod.
Brilliant.
Hey, where I come from, pirates play for keeps, and escape pods are for sitting targets. You're much more likely to survive if you make a run for it.
What are you going to do?
Make a run for it.
You can't outrun them. The Sidewinder has stronger thrusters and less weight than the Merlin.
Thank you, Little Miss Textbook. I can do the maths too. What I have on my side is bloody mindedness. You remember the asteroid field?
You can't be thinking.
This is an empty system. That witching hellhole of rocks and sudden death is the only thing around here that can keep those ships from getting a clear shot.
Alert. Manual timer ending in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Hang on.
1.
Approach, child. Grand Matriarch Avsalon. Surprise, 23, or disappointment? We didn't know that you were here, Your Eminence. Wait, you're a hologram, of course.
The penny drops. I see that your expensive training and conditioning has not been a waste of everybody's time.
How can we serve you, Grand Matriarch Avsalon?
What are you doing about your missing prototypes?
Missing?
Don't waste my time with denials, child. The elders see everything. I do hope you are not going to be a disappointment to us, 23. Yes, you have something to say.
My name is Lorand.
Why, yes, of course. How rude of me. Names and titles are so important to us all. No matter how near the bottom of the food chain we really are.
Forgive me.
Forgiveness will be given once you have dealt with the missing prototypes.
I will get them back, Grand Matriarch Avsalon.
And if you cannot, 20, Lorand,
they will be destroyed.
Good.
And then will I be forgiven? What if I fail?
If you fail, then you need not worry ever again. Farewell, 23.
Farewell. Mother.
You're getting a bit close to the rocks, aren't you?
That witching son of a spacer is right on my tail. I have to stay close to the rocks or we get shot to pieces.
Don't you know any evasive manoeuvres?
There isn't enough room in here for evasion. Besides, all my concentration is on the rocks. I'm hoping our friend here is having the same problem and doesn't have enough spare concentration to line up a decent shot.
I don't know. Those laser blasts are getting pretty close.
Yeah, whoever they are, they're good.
You're straightening up.
I know, the rocks are thinning out. I'm losing our cover.
They'll get a clear shot.
There's a big one coming down fast. I think I can get under them.
Bad tactics, Thane. Even I can see that. They'll know your position and have a perfect shot.
No choice. Hold on to something.
You destroyed them. How?
I'm sorry. Did I give you the impression I wasn't armed?
You flipped the ship over and they flew over the top and you...
You said it yourself. There was only one place we could be, and only one place they could be. Easy shot in the end.
What are you doing?
Making us as quiet as possible. Didn't you notice? Only one of the two Sidewinders followed us in. They were trying to flush us out of the asteroid field. Once we come out, the other one will gun us down in seconds.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to keep a very careful eye out for stray rocks. Might have to fire up the engines in a hurry.
Why did you come all the way out here? To Mila, I mean, rather than going directly through to Semius?
Let's just say there were some familiar names in the systems between Delta Pavonis and Semius, and I wanted to avoid them. Now I'd count myself lucky to see them again.
Can't we just hyperspace out? Oh.
Yes, you ditched my fuel, remember? All I've got is a hold full of radioactive... That's it!
What?
Quick, get down to the hold. I've got a plan.
What plan?
No time to explain. Go, go, go.
Okay, okay.
Where are you, you son of a spacer?
I'm in the hold. What do I do?
There's still at least one container of radioactive waste down there, right?
I guess.
Can you see a small viewport at the rear?
Just a sec. Yes, I see it.
I'm going to get the other ship behind us. When you see it directly through that little viewport, I want you to jettison the radioactives. You got that? It'll smash right into them.
It's pitch black down here. I can't see.
Hang on. I'm lighting up the manual jettison panel. You see it?
Just about. Why can't you do it?
Because I can't see when he's dead behind the hold. You know what you're doing?
Yes. Yes, I can do it.
Okay, they've found us. Hold on to something and get ready. Damn it!
Taking damage. Shields failure.
May, you okay?
Hanging in there.
I'm going to straighten up and hit the throttle now. The moment he's centered, do it.
Just get on with it. Come on. Come on, closer. Now.
Jettison cargo.
We did it! We did it, kid!
That was brilliant.
I have my moments. Never trust a sneaky kid from the frontier. That's what I always...
What? What is it?
Oh, space, no. No, no. No, 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 no.
What's the matter? What is that?
This This is a container full of radioactive waste.
But if that's still in the hold, then that means...
Yeah. It means you jettisoned the robots. In that episode of Escape Velocity, Amy Timms played May, Christopher Jarvis, Thane, Liam Macaulay, Dallas, Rebecca Keeves, Lorand, Owen McEwen was the pirate, with Anne Collins as Grand Matriarch Absalon, and Verity Croft as the voice of the computer. Escape Velocity was written and produced by Christopher Jarvis, with additional music by Alan Stroud, and is a Radio Theatre Workshop production. For more information, please visit escapevelocity.laveradio.com. This work contains non-law fiction set in the Elite Dangerous galaxy. Elite Dangerous is copyright Frontier Developments plc.
Galnet News Update, 13th of September 3308. The Fleet Admiral of the Imperial Navy, Senator Denton Petraeus, has expressed admiration for the Thargoids' tactics in HIP 22460 and said that the Empire must never underestimate this enemy again. Speaking to Ion Akanar, Petraeus pointed out that despite their massive presence in the system while Salvation was building the Proteus Wave device, the Thargoids never once attempted to halt the flow of Guardian technology via the megaship Bright Sentinel to the construction site on planet 10B, and suggested that the Thargoids knew in advance that the Proteus Wave could be used to their advantage. He suggested that Salvation, the showman who chose to build his weapon in an ancient Thargoid system, had been busily building his own execution chamber, and that the Thargoids had simply let him get on with it. Petraeus suggested that the Thargoids may have the strategic ability to outwit any human foe, and confirmed that the Empire would concentrate on protecting its own systems independently from the Federation and Alliance. The leaders of two of the systems that were invaded yesterday by the Thargoids have explained that their call to anti-Xeno pilots to fight off the 8 tentacled aliens was all a terrible mistake, and that they want to be friends with the Thargoids. CEO of both Sirius Inc. and SI Terraforming, Commander Perfect, explained that the Thargoids have simply come to visit the 42N Persei and Chun Pindit systems, and have done nothing to warrant persecution. No starports or settlements have been attacked by Thargoids. The Sirius factions, which are not part of the Sirius Corporation, hope that they can find a way of communicating with their Thargoid guests to find out what they want, apart from not being blown up by AXI. Meanwhile, anti-Xeno pilots have been making rapid progress, with 67 billion credits of combat bonds turned in 42N Persei alone. The Thargoid visitors seem unlikely to recommend these systems to their friends and neighbours as a relaxing, peaceful holiday destination. In other news, Commander Psychit has suggested that the unidentified interstellar anomalies might not be giant Thargoid spacecraft coming to annihilate us after all, but may simply be giant space cats walking away.
Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite.
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
And the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 408 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Defire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, otherwise known as Colin Ford, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our, as usual, Head of Health and Safety, Commander Edelweiss, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
Steve! Many other people aren't, but I am.
Oh, okay. And because Psykit and Alec Turner have both decided to stay away, Alec's got a personal issue, and I think Psykit is drinking most of Wales dry out of gin. So go figure. We have had to scour the internet and raid other people's streams to bring us three most excellent contributors. We have from the from the broadcast, we have Commander Ascorbius.
Hello, we're the best of what's left.
We also have LCU No Fool Like 3 or 1.
Sorry, he's not available today. It's his assistant Powell Oblivion.
From Canon, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you admitting to that at the moment?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And also we do have from the East India Trading Company, we have our usual trader, Mac Winston.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Well, if you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in game, in open, in Lave Station. I do believe Ben and the Chris Mark IV are running around there with Commander Ascorbius joining them. So feel free to join up. I don't think we can put any bounty on Ben tonight because, well, it's his first show back, and we don't really want to put a downer on things. If you can't get to us in game, you can join us on the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live, or click on the live chat, or go straight to Twitch TV/Lave Radio, or there's Facebook, there's YouTube, and there's Twitter. So yes, we're everywhere. So I'm going to quickly go around the crew, and crew and guests, and see how they've been. Mac, you were on last week, so I think we'll catch up with you first.
Hello. We need Sovereign back to do. You know how he does the store alert thing. We need one to do nerd alert because I'm about to plumb the depths of nerdery. I've been playing with my most recent retro acquisition, an Atari 800 XL, and I kid you not, this thing is amazing. The Atari 8-bit series, if you don't know, came out in 1979, and I kid you not, it has an honest to goodness GPU from 1979. The chip's called Antic, and I've been playing around with programming this thing. And if you remember the original Elite on the BBC Micro, it split the screen between, if I remember correctly, mode 4 and mode 2 with a timing trick. So you had to time where to switch modes. Well, on the Atari, you can do that kind of thing, but you don't need to do any timing tricks. It's got something called a display list, and the Antic basically is instructions. It's like a very simple instruction set for this chip, but you give it instructions on how to set out the mode, and you can do this for every line on the display using display lists. And I'm absolutely blown away with this machine, that it can, something from 1979 was this, relatively speaking, advanced. Of course, when I say GPU, it's nothing like the GPUs now, which are like about a million times more powerful, but it's just, anyway, so I'm absolutely blown away by this machine.
Yeah, I must admit, the early Ataris, Star Raiders on that is
I've been playing that. It's fantastic. It's fast paced. It's not as brutal as the version on the BBC. There was a I'm thinking of Drop Zone. Sorry. I'm not thinking of Star Raiders. I'm thinking of Drop Zone, which is like one of those. I'm trying to think. There was a similar game on the BBC Micro, which is absolutely brutally difficult. It's not quite as hard on the Atari, but it's really fast, really quick scrolling. Very, it's like the arcade. In fact, the Atari's hardware is based on what they had in the arcades at the time, so which was generally better hardware than you had in home computers. But you just had, and so having a dumb frame buffer, it's got this chip that can do, it's got DMA access to the memory. It can actually run instructions itself, which is, anyway, I thought it was really cool. So anyway, that's me plumbing the depths of retro geekery.
Yeah,
this week.
There was the earliest 3D space game was Star Raiders on that Atari 800, and when it came out on the Atari VCS, that's the game that got me into wanting to play these kind of things, which of course led to Elite and forth. Okay, we will pass on to Commander Ascobius. Now, I know you've had a tough week. What else have you been up to?
This week, I've mostly been. Actually, what have I been doing? I bought a. It's not Oculus anymore, is it? It's Meta Quest 2. Because I'm getting rid of my Rift S and my Vive. I'll be selling them, I think, because I want some kind of like mobile VR system, and I haven't been playing VR for so long, and I miss it so much because the Rift S I have troubles with. I have to disconnect it, all of it, and then plug one cable in, wait 10 seconds, plug another cable in, and then maybe if all the stars align, it wakes up. And that's really killed VR for me, so I want something that's a bit more immediate, a bit better.
Wireless Elite Dangerous on the Quest 2 is a thing of joy.
That's what I'm hoping, because I also want to be able to walk around the house and use it as a Steadicam, like because that's how I used to do all of my filming for my very, very early stuff before I just started doing all the CGI. But,
the Quest is the Quest wirelessly is amazing. And wireless on what the hell's it called again? VR chat. People have gone off and mocked up various spaceships in VR chat that you can go and wander around, and it's brilliant.
And speaking about like nerding out to old like 8-bit technology, like you beat me by far with that unit from the 70s. The closest I got to was 128 Spectrum, which had quite limited graphics capability. But I taught myself assembly language, and I figured out interrupts. and you could page the memory backwards and forwards, and you could flicker between two images in memory. So I actually made grey, black, white, and grey by flickering between stippled images. There you go. How about that for nerding?
Wow.
Actually,
Okay, that is pretty nerdy because basically nobody touches assembler code anymore.
You want to bet?
Yeah, self-taught Z80 assemblers.
Oh my god, you glutton for punishment.
I've written quite a lot of Z80 assembler in my time, but yeah, the Spectrum screen layout itself was quite interesting, and it is actually quite ingenious, really, because the way it's laid out. If you for those who don't know, it basically had a 1 bit per pixel, which would be black and white, main high resolution graphics. And on top of that, there was a color overlay, and the color overlay was much lower resolution. It was basically 8x8 blocks. They're called attributes, but the way they were laid out in memory was such that you could do a very fast page read on, because the dynamic RAM was pretty slow in those days, and the way it was arranged, the actual space, the layout in memory, how far away the color attributes were from the pixel data, was such that you could load both in a fast page read. So they're on basically the same page of memory in each of these DRAM chips, so they could actually get a bit of extra performance, get enough performance out the dynamic RAM to actually make it all happen. So it's quite an ingenious system, really. And Sinclair did so much with such limited hardware. They managed to get so much more than you'd expect out of such a very, there's not much to a Spectrum, but they managed to get it to do a lot more than you'd think through clever chips, clever little tricks like this. So yeah. It's a very good machine.
What else you been up to then, Scott?
What else have we been up to? Not a lot, really. I mean, apart from Sunday, that was an emotional thing. We said goodbye to our dear friend Commander Nix.
Yes.
Who he passed away the week before, and he was a lovely guy. So anybody who ever had anything to any dealings with Commander Nix will attest. He was a lovely, lovely man, and it breaks my heart to say goodbye to him, but we had to.
Yes, unfortunately, I mean, I'd taken the orange sidewinder over there, but unfortunately, real life got in the way, so I couldn't join in, which is a bit of a pain. But
we did hit instancing limits quite hard. I had to be. We organised a laser show. So we spelt Nix with beam lasers. Hats off, massive hats off to the wonderful Commander Greatest for organising it. But there's a hard limit apparently of 16 commanders around a fleet carrier.
Is there?
It won't let you instance any more than that. So I actually had to be multi-crewed in virtually so that I could film the thing. We could not get an instance. Everyone else is fine up until we hit that limit, and then no more.
Oh,
which is a shame.
Let me guess, it's 16 ships, not 16 people, though.
If you want to get on a fleet carrier, I think the Burrs did this. They had, I don't know, a lot of people. They just land their ships and they got out their ships, and somebody else can land, and they filled their fleet carrier up, and people were like dancing around when they jumped.
Yeah,
because they couldn't all have seats. That was really funny. But yeah, there seems to be external to the fleet carrier a 16 ship limit because there's only 16 pads. Someone thought, I'm guessing, well, they'll never need more than 640k, will they?
Yeah, the usual. You don't need more than 64k. I think Bill Gates said that, of all people. Anyway, moving on from there, we also have LCU. Welcome to Lave Radio.
Hi there.
Is this your first time on, or have we had you on before?
I think it's my first time on Lave, yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome. So obviously you've Canon have had a little bit of trouble, which we'll touch on later. Apart from that, have you been holding up all right?
Yeah, no, I've been really enjoying the new anomaly that we've all been tracking. It's been really good fun working with some really bright people who've all developed their own mathematical models and 3D models for trying to track this thing and work out when it's going to pass by each system. And I've been learning a lot from them, and refining my own methods, which unfortunately I can't do anymore because I'm too deaf to tell from sound where it is. But but the it's been great, and it's a bit of, written a 3D map for it, and we've enhanced our hyperdiction detector in the Canon plugin so that it can tell whether it's a hostile hyperdiction or not. So it's been really good.
I must admit, I didn't realize you had all those tools until I did some investigation, and they're going, talking about ripping the journal apart.
Well, so we get a lot of data from places like Spanch. So Spanch has a dump of the entire galaxy that all the commanders have been to. And he's even using the routes. So when people plot a route, even if they don't follow that route, it marks the position of the stars. So he's got very, very massive amount of data. That has all the systems and bodies that we know about. And we use that, and we use data that comes from the Elite Dangerous Data Network as well. And the guys who do a lot of the sort of the really big infrastructure do such a fantastic job for the community, and we use all those tools, as well as capturing some things that other tools can't, like the hyperdictions. But a lot of the stuff that we originally set up the plugin for, now we can get it from the EDDN. So we don't necessarily need people to use the plugin, but of course, if they're using the plugin, they get their name recorded. So, which they don't do if they're submitting to EDDN. But we've got a ton of infrastructure, and the sheer amount of data that's coming on the biology is now starting to cause us problems, because when we originally started, there was very little biology, and it was very hard to find, and now it's absolutely everywhere.
Blooming heck, life gets everywhere. Who knew? Right.
Yeah, bloody life.
Don't talk to me about life. Anyway, Ben.
On that note.
For goodness sake. That couldn't have been any worse.
I've been away for a few weeks. About a month ago, I basically found out that my mum had stage 4 cancer, and then she died about 2 days later. So that kind of sucked. And turning a short story very short. I've basically since then I've been up in Edinburgh and Aberdeen, consoling my family and arranging funerals. And then also in the middle of at the end of all this, then going back home and doing DIY and being a dad whilst I avoid responsibilities and work, basically. So because of all that, I have got no idea what the hell's been going on in pretty much anything. The last I knew of the game, the patch 4 had just patch 3.9999999 whatever the hell had just dropped, and
so you saw
Daddy Savlon may or may not have died. There was talk about is he dead? Isn't he dead? Then I think I saw a report saying he was dead in a Galnet news article. I don't personally believe any of that until we see a body, but I don't know if a body's been seen. And I think he might have pissed a few people off.
People, probably not as much as species.
Off.
Yeah.
And
he's pissed an entire species off, which is interesting. Yeah.
Creatures are mad. They're mad at him.
Well,
He
I think
better
they're
be
mad at
dead.
all of us. For some reason, they seem to be lumping us all in together.
Funny that. Well, let's have a quick think about what I've been up to. Well, I've been playing a lot of Elite. I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect, and basically, very similar situation with Ben is that it seems that our older generation has come to the point, especially after what's been happening earlier this week. A lot of them seem to be passing on, and I'm afraid to say that my mother is now, dealing with cancer herself, which is going to be hard. So that's going to be difficult over the next couple of months, I think. So,
Fuck you, cancer! You're a complete bastard.
Yes, completely. And
Absolutely.
at the moment, I'm basically playing a lot of Elite just to be able to cope, which is I don't know if anybody else does this when it's got that stressful that you end up looking forward to that 1 half-hour or hour session that you get when everything is quiet, just so that you are unplugged from reality.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the great things about VR is you're there. It is such a distance from reality. You go mining, you're actually in the ship, you're doing the mining, or you're playing. You're not playing a game anymore. You're flying a spaceship, and it's just so good. But yeah, I totally get what you mean with this.
Yeah. So it's not been the best the best week for me personally, and with everything else that's been happening with Ben and obviously Her Majesty, then it's been weird. So I think enough of that. We shall move on to some interesting things which have happened in said world of Elite Dangerous. The development news. What have the devs said or done this week? Well, we've had a couple of interesting things happen. On Wednesday, the day after our show, there was a small update which was issued, which they just said was to fix lens flare issues. A small 2 gigabyte patch to fix lens flare. You think there might be something hidden in there?
Bit sus, isn't it?
How big are those textures?
Yeah. I mean, even J.J. Abrams is going, damn no.
It's like, hey, I have my limits.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I want some lens flare with my lens flare.
It'll look like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise, won't it? But, yes, nothing hidden at all. Let's move along. Now, it did mean that there were a couple of changes that did seem to happen. The UIAs, I think that's the universal acronym that people are now using for these
the Star
Goys. Star Goys.
We called it Project Cotton Eye. So we called
I thought
the
it was
first
Project
one Joe.
Catbot.
Hey, Project what?
Catbot.
No.
No.
I don't know where you got that one from.
That's because Psychit says it looks like a psychedelic cat's butthole. So yeah, it's whatever I don't know how much gin Psychit was on at the time, but that's what they came up with.
She has some interesting hobbies, by the sounds of it.
Well, it seemed that the UIAs disappeared in luminescence. But you can still see them. They are now at visible from about 4 light years. They've also changed color a bit. I do believe there are more red and orange in it, matching how they were described in the Galnet articles. Now, as you can imagine, if you take anything away from Elite Dangerous, there does seem to be a little bit of salt that seems to come out over what appears to be nothing.
Why would there be any salt for that?
I don't know.
Because if you think about it, right, so I put this on the table. If you were a very, very angry alien thing, a big thing that we've never seen, and you're traveling through witch space with such force, with such energy, moving something with so much mass that it bled through and we could see it. And then they realize, oh, we're being followed. So they slow down. And then that changes the visual signature. And also, it changes the light that we see. Because maybe now it's further away from us, and therefore you're going to have some, what do they call it? Shifting going on with the light.
Blue shift, red shift. That's what you're right.
So I'm thinking maybe that's part of it. So it was like, we could see it very, very far away because we don't understand the nature of witch space. But perhaps there was so much energy being used to push this, whatever this thing is, through witch space, that it was bleeding through to the point where we could see it hundreds of light years away. Where, let's be honest, you wouldn't normally, because it hasn't had 100 years, has it?
No.
So maybe that's the nature of witch space that's doing that. And now they've gone, oh, these things that hate us are following us.
They can see us. Let's go. Let's put us into silent running.
Silent running. Yeah, something like that. And now you have to be really close because you can't cool them all the way down. They are still massive. It's still bleeding through. But now you have to be a lot closer. That's that. It's a game. It's a fictional universe, and witch space is magic. But it makes sense to me. No salt.
Well, you see, this is the thing, because a lot of the salt came from the fact that people were complaining that, one, they couldn't see it anymore, and two, that they thought that the initial release was a bug and we weren't supposed to see it yet.
Totally.
With all of a sudden they've taken it away. So, anger, even more anger.
It doesn't make any sense that it would have been a bug, because they just wouldn't code something to be there at all if it was a bug. So, yeah.
I do like what Katiana said in chat. Don't bite the salt out of this scob.
You know,
the thing about it really is
it's the only commodity you can't buy in Elite Dangerous, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
No, it's cheese.
Even cheese you can't buy.
Yeah, we're not having any of LCU's cheese. Thank you very much.
Continue on the cat butt theme. If you think about it, going through hyperspace is ripping a new asshole in the fabric of the space-time. So it makes sense.
Fits. All fits. And everything else that Frontier do with the Elite Dangerous universe has a solid foundation in science. Their one concession is witch space, which is magic. They admit to that. We don't know how it works. It's magic. So you have to take that. You have to say, all right, well, that's the magic bit. Because even Super Cruiser's got a basis in science. Even that does. But it's still like, I'll give you a drive.
Yeah. Basically, it's the warp drive, hyperspace drive.
Yeah.
It's the magic bit that makes the game work. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it ain't going to work. And you will end up with people taking months, like The Expanse, to get one place to the other. No.
Imagine doing a loop of shame.
Well, if you think about Frontier First Encounters, because it wasn't multiplayer, you didn't have Super Cruise. You'd fly through normal space. You'd speed up time, so you didn't have to wait. Mm-hmm. But it'd be real time. The thing is, you could get yourself into a situation where you could still be like miles off from this planet, but you've got yourself into a position where there is nothing you can do to avoid taking this planet to the face like a giant custard pie.
Yep. That was absolutely awful.
The loop of shame wasn't so much a loop of shame. It was more like the pancaking into a planet of shame.
Just imagine the destruction you'd have done to that planet.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that would be everything ending.
Yeah, you'd be hitting that planet at a fraction of the speed of light. Yes, that wouldn't leave much.
It would just
that would cause a massive hole.
Oh yeah, you're not going to buff that out.
Well, you know, the amount of energy that would be. I mean, it's just very simple math, to work it out. I'm no good at maths. Don't ask me.
It could be worked out if you wanted to.
Well, it's was it K equals half mv squared or something like that?
Oh my goodness,
the V
only
squared.
you would actually
Yeah.
know the equation.
Well, you have to think of the V squared is because it's the last term is squared. It increases tremendously quickly with velocity.
So let's just say that there's been an awful lot of science-y bypassing, because basically, you imagine the amount of times I crashed into Earth at a high speed. Well, that'd be the end of civilization. So, yeah.
Well, they'd had a planetary defense. Of course, that wasn't actually modeled in FFE, but you could imagine my headcanon to prevent that happening. There'd be planetary defense around planets with life on them to stop those kind of shenanigans from going on in the first place. But the whole thing about witch space in magic, well, the clue's kind of in the name, really. Witch space. it kind of, and that's always been the case since the first elite. If you remember Robert Holdstock's book, The Dark Wheel,
it's nothing to do with being confused about where they are.
That had
that's
a lot
because of the. Go on, Max.
A lot of stuff about that with the dangers of which it wasn't well understood, and there were dangers like I think one was you could end up jumping, you could end up in the wrong timeline or the wrong system, or even arrive turned inside out.
Yes,
which was not a pretty sight.
Yeah, for that book, there was a whole load of security and safety procedures that you had to go through before you jumped to another system.
They should bring that into the game. I think that would make it dangerous.
Oh God! Can you just imagine everybody queuing up to make the jump?
I would totally love for space to be more dangerous.
Yeah, I wish that we actually did have essentially jump gates, and when we all came to the planet to have beacons as a this is what you're locking onto, and it is a natural choke point.
I don't mean like that. I mean, like when you're in Super Cruise and you get too close to a body, it drops you out. You hit the safety exclusion zone, right? I want to have Super Cruise flight assist off, where you can say, sod that. If you get too close to it and there's no lines are going to save you now, but you'll be able to slingshot around bodies and get tremendous velocity.
Oh, I would love that as well. Yeah, agreed.
It would make an entirely new sport inside of Elite. But the thing is, though, if you die, straight at the rebuy. In fact, your Remlock can't save you. Be careful, new commander.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, imagine the sort if they did that.
Yeah, well, don't turn off the safeties then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I need to get there really fast. Well, you take your chances.
Right. Well, included with these that fantastically long show notes was a picture of a Coriolis station surrounded by what looked like 3 flares, and there was a code at the bottom, which if people decoded the code, decoded the picture, came up with a little phrase which told you can't see everything or something daft like that, but it's still there.
Even if you can't see it, it's still there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, when the patch came out, they were going to downgrade it, but yes.
One of the things I would say is this. I don't quite understand the purpose of downgrading it, because even though you couldn't see it for quite a long part of the journey, once people were aware that there was a new signal, they found it very, very quickly. So some people are saying, well, they had to make it smaller so people would find it harder to find it, but actually it didn't really make it any harder to find. And as I said, the issue I had is quite often I can't play with headphones. But we're still, people are still tracking it, but they're using audio tools so they can look at the sound levels and see where, try and precisely pinpoint it and then do all the maths again. So it's not made it any harder. So
and we see
there
it
hasn't been any
now.
narrative. Yeah, you can see it if you get close enough.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I said, you've got to be within 4 light years of it.
Yeah, which means if it's on a 60 light year leg, it's invisible for most of that flight. It's only like when it's going in and out of a system.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I would have brazened it out and said, yeah, we meant it to be that bright. and they could have saved themselves a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I did think that the amount of salt over this did seem to come out of nowhere. I mean, I do feel that it's probably because it's taking a while to unfold whatever this next step is, and there's a lot of people who are getting very frustrated with it. But
yeah, no, I think it'll be moving for a long time, won't it?
Have they said that it was a mistake that it was so bright? Because that's a misstep.
No, they've never said anything about that. There was only Sally's little Sally's comment that just because you can't see it, it means it's not there.
Right. Okay. Well, that's
the
fine,
patch, but they did say the patch was to change the range at which flares were visible. That was the patch notes.
I honestly think that they should, like, even if it is a bug, and they need to do this with all bugs, just own it, and write it into the law. Make it so, like, make something up because it fleshes the world out. Just so commanders are able to fly without their fuel going down. Fine. There was a patch that was issued by the Pilots Federation which doubled the efficiency of your engines, but they found that it degraded the engines, and then so it got repealed. Sorry about that patch. Put it in the Galnet.
Yeah, there's lots of things like that in the past, because there was a time when somebody managed to get a station to attack a battle cruiser, and the same battle cruiser to attack the station back.
The Nevermore.
Yeah, the Nevermore, and basically there was a point where the battle cruiser was down to like 30% hull, and they managed to write that in, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of things about the UIA that are a bit odd, So when it gets near to leaving the system, it starts sort of bouncing around. And the thing is, you can say, it's a blink drive. That's
a good way of
putting it. Hollyhock drive.
Or you just come up with any old hand wavium to describe this stuff. Yeah, and
it's a fictional universe. Let's do it. Let's make it interesting and cool and stuff.
Yeah, like when you can see it through planets, and it's fine. It's it's a projection of radiation that's faster than light, and it just passes straight through, and you just see it on your retina. It doesn't matter.
And just say it's quantums if you run out of ideas.
Quantum.
Just put quantum in it.
That always works.
Every weekend, I have to do a thing which we've got called the explainer thing. And anybody in here who follows me will know they put me on the spot every single time. And when I run out of ideas, it's a quantum thing. But because it sounds plausible enough, I get oh, no, I'm giving all my tricks away. No, that's not what I do. Anyway, next person.
What, you mean you just put quantum in front of everything?
No, not everything. Like, you can't have quantum tea.
Whatever you do, do not mention quantum out of context to Professor Brian Cox. He gets very angry.
Quantum.
Yeah, because basically he's so sick and tired of people hijacking the term quantum to make something sound cool.
But it sounds cool and sciencey.
Where's that? It's a quantum step. It's like, well, it's the quantum step is the smallest possible step. Why are you trying to make out some kind of giant leap? It's just
Anyway, moving on from there, we've had some other news happening, and some quite interesting ones as well. We have the console transfer process went live today. So all those people who would like to transfer from Xbox and PlayStation to the PC and get a free copy of Horizons, that process has started today. There has been a couple of highlighted errors, but the majority of them seem to be going through very quickly, within 10 minutes, although there is a queue forming. So, yep. Apparently, you just put in, you log in with your Xbox or your PlayStation account, type in the commander name that you want to be known as, and then it'll tell you whether or not it's. Oh, is it 5 hours now? It was 10 minutes right at the very beginning, but apparently the queue, according to Katiana, is now 5 hours. But at least it shows they're doing demand. There was database errors reported, mostly due to an error because of they are not reporting the fact that that commander name is not available. But yes, we will have to see. So yeah, Elite Dangerous. Apparently, it's being overwhelmed, this service. So a lot of people seem to want to transfer the commanders over. I know I will be doing that with my Xbox commander at some point. But so I am going to end up with 4 accounts. Have we got anybody here who's got a console account that wants to transfer it over, or are we all PC master race people?
Yeah, I got a console account. I actually won it, and I've used it a couple of times, and just didn't really get on with the console. So it'll be really nice to move to the PC. So that'll be 4 accounts for me.
Yeah. I didn't believe when I first signed up for this I'd end up with 4 copies of the game, and I've paid for each of them.
And how many of the cosmetics have you got on each of them as well?
I'm not saying. I don't want to. I look at, you know how you can actually go into the store and you can list everything you've ever bought?
I don't do that.
Yeah.
You can't, because you've bought it all and you don't know which one. It's too long a list, yeah?
Yeah. Put it. I'm looking at the list and it's got how many pages?
I did see a comment from Frontier today, though, on Twitter as well. That there was some commanders who were they were hesitant to switch over their account to the console, from console to PC, because they wanted to keep playing. And the Frontier confirmed that you don't need to worry, switch it over, because it's a copy. You can still play on the console for as long as you want. It's not going to change that.
Yes.
You will just have a PC account as well. So don't worry. If you're worried about that, don't think that because you switched it over from the console to the PC, don't think that you won't be able to play on console anymore, because you can. You can for as long as you want. You just now have access on the PC as well.
Yeah, and one thing that I have been reliably informed about, and this is this thing called GeForce Now. It's a cloud-based solution which allows you to basically use a cloud-based PC, but you can play that cloud-based PC through a console. So you could transfer it to this cloud-based account and still be playing Elite Dangerous on your console, but obviously through the cloud. And
it's not a full cloud PC, but it is. It's like, okay, I'll play Elite Dangerous for you on my PC and stream it to you, kind of idea.
Yeah, but the upshot is
rather than a full PC.
Yeah, but the upshot is that you can end up playing Odyssey and the latest 4.0 on a console if you wanted to.
Yep.
Although I think the price is about £8 a month.
There is a free version of it. It just means you can only play for a limited period of time.
Yeah, and even the £8 a month one, I think you're limited to 6 hours a day.
I think you're lying about watching it on the console, though, because how can you watch it on the console when all that's on the bloody telly is Say Yes to the Dress and bloody Bake Off and stuff like that? I can't play anything on the console because I just can't get hold of the remote.
I think that might be a you problem.
Who's got the most? Who's got the most alternative commanders? Because I think Living the Dream would be like one for every region of the galaxy. Like 42. That's what you want.
You want 42 commanders. I've got 4. We know that Psychic's got 6. Or was it
6?
8? 6, yes.
6 or 8? I mean, either of those is excessive. Come on, Psychic, what's wrong with you?
Although she, to be fair to her, she only plays with 3 of them.
I thought I was bad with just the 3.
There's 8. I've got 3.
Someone I'm sure Psychic said that someone said they had 8.
Sorry, Psychic.
We know that King Hanky's got something ridiculous, like 20 odd.
What?
Yeah, King Hanky's got a shitload, and scarier is most of them are elite ranking as well.
Oh, Hanky just lives
They've all got fleet carriers, haven't they?
Yeah. Something. King Hanky's just, I don't know. I don't understand how and where he gets time to go to the bathroom with what he must be doing in elite.
I'm not sure he does he?
I think he plays on the loo. If you can get Elite Dangerous working on the Steam Deck,
which you can,
then basically that's it. You are on the loo with your dinner by your side, or you could be on a drip, or I don't know.
Living the dream.
Oh yes.
So yes, console transfers are in progress. They seem to be going well, and there are some issues, but they are looking into them. But the majority of the transfers have worked quite well. So fingers crossed that that it continues. In other news, they've also said that 4.0 Horizons will be coming to your launcher by the end of the week.
Yeah, I love how that happens after we go out as well. So I was really, really hoping we'd get it today, but
no, it's Commander Tekarov. I knew it. I knew that's who it was. He's the person who's got 8 accounts.
Yeah, and he's not got the most. I do think Hanky's probably got the most that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Well, my number was excessive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to think how much time I have used up if I add up all my accounts. It's frightening. But then again, the really weird thing, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Did you have fun?
As long as you're having fun. Yeah.
If not, if yes, so what?
I think one of the things about having outs is when you do a CG using your out and you haven't got any engineering, it really gives you some sympathy for the new players who having to struggle through all of that. It's it's brutal. I've just got enough money for a Type 9. It's like, I can't jump it to the CG because it hasn't got enough range, and then you have to like downgrade stuff, and it's painful.
It's painful, but don't you? I'm sorry, I know we've gone on about this before. But don't you think it's more fun though? Yeah. I maintain that the game is that the range we have nowadays with everything there's something more fun about the way it used to be.
I certainly have very, very fond memories of just about having enough money to get my Asp Explorer, and then no rebuy. I didn't have any rebuy because I couldn't afford it. And then I got it all fitted up, and I was proud of that ship. I loved that ship. I was terrified anytime I took it out because I couldn't afford to lose it.
Yeah.
But I made the money, I did the work, and I loved it. Brilliant.
I
had a really good time.
And for me, I sort of have goals. There are things that I want to do in the galaxy that you need to have money and the right kit for. So for me, if someone said, here's 20 billion credits, have whatever you want and all the engineering, I'd say, yeah, great, I'll do that because it means I can go out.
Elon doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm just saying, if there are any sugar daddies out there,
yeah, you're not proud.
No, not proud.
Yeah, the one thing that I always remember from the Yahtzee review of Elite Dangerous was, well, this is Elite Dangerous. Before you can actually start playing Space Pirate or Space Trader or Space Policeman, you've got to spend a lot of time playing Space Crap Out to build up to get what you want. And yeah, I thought, well, the fun thing was that I remember Space Crap Out being quite fun, but I guess that's my masochistic side.
I
I just love that now that I'm quite well healed, I can just get any old ship and say, right, I'm going to make this into an explorer, or so I'm exploring in a Viper Mark III, and it's great. I mean, it's brilliant for xenobiology, because you can just it's just so fast, and you can land and you just step out the front steps and you scan and get back in and off you go. It's brilliant, and you just earlier on in the game it's very difficult and you make bad choices. But it's fine if that's where you want to be, and I totally understand people just really enjoying that challenge. But on the other hand, if there's other things you want to do, it can be a bit frustrating, I guess. But I love the game. I just want to play it the way I like to play it.
And starting out at alt account, that's what got me to realize how good of an explorer the Dolphin was. Because I created this alt account, of course. I didn't. Again, I remember getting my first Aspect Explorer too. In fact, I still have it. I'm flying it right now. I don't think I've ever changed that ship. But yeah, when I started my alt, I wanted to start taking passenger missions as quickly as possible. So I got, I went through the because they're quite lucrative. And anyway, I got a Dolphin, and I thought, oh, what can I do with this ship? So I went onto Coriolis.io and started having a look what I could do with engineering. I thought, holy cow, this could be a really good explorer, because even without any engineering, I could get over a 30-something light-year range. So, and the fuel scooping, that they do restricted that, because the passenger ships used to have restricted module slots. The big module slot was restricted to passenger cabins or cargo.
That's right, it was.
And they dropped that, so you could put a fuel scoop in there now. So you had this massive fuel scoop, so it'd scoop fuel incredibly quickly. And not only that, they did something as well which made it run incredibly cold. So you could scoop fuel literally from the exclusion zone at the start and not even close to it, and charge up your FSD. Which when you were jonking somewhere because you need to get between waypoints, you could do it so incredibly fast. I mean, you could beat ships with much bigger jump ranges because you didn't have to wait around before you could charge your FSD, which saves about 15 seconds a jump or so.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, so there's a simple tip for everybody who wants to go cheap exploring: get a Dolphin.
They're fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic, and you can actually you can fit one out for simultaneous fuel ratting and hull sealing as well. I mean, you can small the small limpet controllers, but you can actually. That was the role of the Dolphin. I think there was a small ships expedition. I can't remember what it was called. It was funny because there's an expedition we actually met up with on another expedition somewhere like miles out into the void. But yeah, the Dolphin was the go-to ship for doing fuel ratting or hull sealing for their expedition.
I've also found the Dolphin to be an amazing ship for like for commanders who think that they've done everything and they just want a Friday night doing something a bit different. Get a Dolphin, fit with some passenger cabins, and go and do like a lore tour. Go out to the beacons, the tourist beacons, and then just go and have a look, have a read. You'll see some amazing sites that have already been found by people. But if you're not an explorer at heart and maybe you're more into combat, things like that, just go do that. You'll see some amazing stuff.
Yeah,
and you get paid for it too.
I'll do a little plug actually, because the Galactic Exploration Catalogue, as you may know, is sort of taking over where the GMP has left off, and I've been involved with that, and there's an API, and so I've been doing the tweets for it. So we do a daily tweet for different locations around the galaxy, but one of the things is the API is integrated into the Canon plugin, so every time you do a jump, it checks to see where the nearest thing is, and the Galactic Catalogue entries come up on there, and it's got a nice description and ratings, because the users and the curators rate it, and it'll tell you, what there is to see, how far away it is, and how relatively how good it is based on the rating. Very nice little feature.
So yeah, I mean just bringing it back to we've
Sorry.
gone off on a tangent again. Just to bring it back, 4.0, as I say, it will be coming to Horizons players this week. So that means that they will be able to, those of you who have just got Horizons, you'll be able to see your own flares. The only problem is you won't be able to instance with any Odyssey player, which I do think is a bit of a. But I've been through it. I've moved past it. I've accepted it.
Has to be a technical thing, an API thing or something.
Did I not hear that they, on planets, it's because of the PEGI rating, and they're looking at maybe allowing you to instance in space,
well,
where obviously that shooting people in the face doesn't exactly happen.
Yeah, it's mostly to do with the PEGI rating. You're quite right. The main issue, I think they've got an issue where some commanders can then fly down to the planet. If you're in a team, there might be an issue there, but would cause problems. I mean, I'm with you. I'd be quite happy if all you needed to instance in was a space. So 4.0 and Odyssey commanders all meet up in space, and that'd be fine. Which would be great for things like Secrets.
And obviously 4.0 can't jump out of their ship and join us in the bar.
No, they can't.
I'm just trying to figure out, where is Chris Mark IV running to? Because I'm kind of following him and he's just running off into the distance here. But that's another story.
Don't run out of air.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is he leading me into the dark and then he's going to stab me in the back or something?
No, knowing him, he'll probably just turn around and put a double shotgun.
Yeah, I might get. That's a good idea. There we go. Shotgun. Yeah. So what are you doing, Chris?
Haven't we completed the mission?
I think we completed the mission ages ago. Oh, he's running far enough away to get his ship out.
Yeah, I just did that. Now I'm tempted to fire flak cannons over the base. That makes everybody angry, but I choose life.
Yes. Hang on, this is Commander L. Scorpius. He doesn't choose life.
Right, we're going to move on to the in-game events of what's been happening in the game this week, which is basically our equivalent of Galnet news. On the 7th, Mahon rebukes the Imperial isolation. This is a reaction to the fact that the Empire has now decided that, as far as the Thargoids are concerned, they're going it alone, and the rest of you can all burn. To which Mahan has just turned around and said, actually, we all need to work together, otherwise we are going to burn. Yes, I mean, he might be in the camp of trying to get Aegis back together. Well, good luck with that. On the subject of...
That's not going to be quick, you realise.
No, certainly not.
It's going to take ages.
Oh, God.
I walked into that. I just... I should know better. When it comes to dad puns, I should know better than that. Anyway, on the subject of shut down alien killers, Azimuth have successfully saved themselves by completing the mining campaign, which means that as a corporation they can survive, much to the disappointment of several others on the on this crew. Yes, I couldn't believe how quickly people supported this one. Was it mostly because of the rewards, or do you think people actually still want Azimuth about?
What rewards do they give?
Well, just loads of money, and it was mining. No? Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I was going to say, if it was paint jobs, then it was I'd have blamed rewards, but if it's just money, not sure.
I know there was some kind of blockade going on in Open because there was a thread on Reddit where there was a new player who had been ganked by someone, and the ganker was actually on the thread. And
I saw that.
It was actually saying, well, and the ganker was actually being very nice and explaining how to avoid getting ganked in the future, etc., etc. But it was like, yeah, our role players, we don't want Azimuth to succeed. So in open, anybody who seems to be supporting the community goal is going to get shot at, and we're not shooting. We're not seal clubbing here. This is what we're trying to. It's a bit like back in the day that the whole FNS Nevermore. The EIC and a few other groups did the same thing. With that CG, we were deliberately trying to blockade it and open and slow it down. So yeah, there has been a minor bit of drama, and so there are definitely people against it.
I do like that stuff. I mean, there's Hate Aegis, Love Thargoids, for instance. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
And I thought that was wonderful. Not at the time, I was doing some surveys of the Thargoid sites, and I'd actually go out in open just so they'd have a crack at me. I thought, try my interdiction evasion techniques and get blown up. I didn't mind really at the time because I wasn't doing anything that would bother me to get killed, and I thought it was wonderful gameplay. Not everyone agreed, but I mean, I think AXI should definitely have embraced it. There were some people who were kind of unhappy, but it was like, it's part of the game. It's role play. It's great. So yeah.
Yeah, that opens so many cans of worms whenever we come to the open versus consensual and non-consensual PvP. Yeah, I mean, we were seeing by Shattermage and Phoenix Blue, and they said that the Mabuni permit was probably the driving force for getting that, because people want permits to get the salvation weapons, which you can only get from there. Moving on from there, well, a new CG started on Monday of all times, because normally it's Thursday, but the Thargoids have decided this is their first attack since HIP 22460, and yes, they've attacked 3 systems, but it's not the same kind of community incursion that we've had before. There's no incursion state whatsoever. We've got 3 systems under attack, all of which the systems are offering money for effectively for bounties, but there doesn't seem to be an end goal. Is anybody going to take part in this anti-Thargoid CG?
Hate Aegis, Love Thargoids.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention.
I think AXI are doing a defense.
Yeah.
So they're defending one of the systems. They've got an event on for that.
Yeah, though there is something, because there's a couple of player groups which are in that system, and Commander Zulu put on this thing on Twitter, which I thought was quite interesting. It said Sirius Inc. and Sea Terraforming joint statement regarding Thargoid activity in 42 in Parisi and Chun Pindit. They're saying that they're asking people not to fight the Thargoids in those systems because the Thargoids aren't actually attacking anything. They're just flying around in these combat zones and they're neutral. They're not actually attacking. So
maybe this is maybe they are getting that friendly status with them then if they're just flying around and not attacking the starports.
Yeah, they're not. It could be interesting. Do you think that the flares are heading to these 3 systems?
Yeah, could be. We wouldn't know. I mean, it's they could be heading straight to the bubble. I wouldn't be my first guess, but we don't know what the Thargoids do.
Yeah.
But I think they're unpredictable. They don't think like us. We just don't know, what their intentions are.
Well, in other Galnet news, the Federation has started monitoring pro-Xeno factions. Their privacy-breaking Big Brother is now concerned about things like the cult of the Far God and so forth. So they're under suspicion. And today, good old Imperial Admiral Dentus Petraeus or whatever, he has decided that, yes, he thinks the Thargoids laid us a trap. They knew exactly what we were doing, and using the old military adage of never stop an enemy from making a mistake, showed that the Thargoids actually are a lot more cunning than just the basic reactive animals that everybody thought they were. He has now acknowledged them as certainly creatures of equal strategic and tactical thinking as the human race.
Why wouldn't anyone?
By equal, you mean they came and kicked our asses? That doesn't sound equal to me.
They fought the Guardians, and they were barely beaten off.
Yeah.
The Guardians bombed them into the Stone Age.
But it took that. They had to go to those levels. Like, it was a territorial thing. Like the Thargoids, they seed planets, don't they, with the barnacles, and they draw things out the ground. And it takes a very long time. They come back around. Let's see how my crops are, and they found that something's having at their farm. It's like, no, you there.
Get off my
those.
land.
Exactly. That's what this is. It's a get off my land. So there was a big set to with the Guardians, and like the Guardians were a technologically
vastly
unbelievable race, but it was close. Yeah. And eventually they
anyone
were
who thinks we're
successful.
in spitting distance of the Thargoids is deluding themselves.
Yeah, well, that was the whole point, because the whole point behind Salvation and his organization was that they did think that they were better than the Thargoids, and the Thargoids were just reactive creatures.
Do we know that Salvation wasn't actually under control by the Thargoids? We've seen ants that are controlled by fungus before now, haven't we?
Or are we talking indoctrination here?
Yeah,
what about
he is a
flat
husk.
out under control? Flat out under control.
Yeah.
My fellow humans, I am Salvation. I am not under control by the Thargoids. No, that's merely a rumor.
You know what I'm thinking now? I'm thinking of the brain slugs in Futurama.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking he clicked on that QR code that's been going around on
It's Salvation. It's Salvation. Right. I think it's that time of the week where we call on the store alert.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your
And welcome back. Well, there didn't seem to be anything new on the stores. The cosmetics sale is still happening, so that's 45% off ship kits, Raider packs, Covises, and Odyssey weapon skins, 30% off certain paint jobs, weapons, and engine colours, and 20% off hazard packs and Odyssey gear sets, which is quite nice. But then, thankfully, our wonderful Chris Mark IV and Commander Ventura spotted the fact that we've got these new prestige assault ship skins and vulture skins. Now, I just want to run this past everybody. Have you seen these before? Because I think they look new.
I think they look new as well.
And I must admit,
I
looking
do
at
like them.
I do like them.
They got a Thunderbirds vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Thunderbird 4, that one.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't the Federal assault ship, I can't stand anyway, so I won't get it for that. But the Vulture, I must admit, I think I would. I'm tempted, and it takes quite a lot to tempt me for a ship skin these days.
Oh, to tempt me, Frodo.
I still think those federal boxy ships, they look a lot like a Shorts 360, which is a very boxy aeroplane.
That lilac vulture looks almost like it looks like a sweet wrapper kind of idea, if you ask me. Yeah, I just see it popping out of a box of Quality Streets.
Yeah, you're right. You could pull the ends and out would pop out something with a gooey center.
Yeah.
It's definitely good.
It wouldn't be one of the nice ones. It would be like strawberry cream or something.
Yeah, it's definitely good with that color. It's definitely going to have a gooey center.
Yeah, those are opal fruits. This is the opal fruits track / starburst ship skins, isn't it?
I'm not sure on the vulture one, the purpley vulture one.
I'm not convinced by that either. Yeah, I like there's a metallic blue and yellow that could work.
Well, they come in blue, green, orange, purple, red, and yellow. So there's bound to be one that you like. But I must admit, I do quite like the design of that. So I will be perusing and probably taking advantage of the sale.
It hasn't got me in the way that the Hazard kit got me. That got me. I love
You just reminded me what I was doing. Thank you. Yeah, I love my Hazard kit on my my Conda.
Oh, you got one of those, did you?
Yeah, I had to get one on my Anaconda.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
More, please, Frontier.
Yeah.
More, please.
Yeah, we'll have we'll have some more. And yeah, no, it is taking advantage of me at my lowest point, I think. Although I do think we have a word with one of the people in our chat who basically bought the Hazard kit 2 days before it went on sale. Ooh.
Oh dear.
So
is the Hazard kit? I thought that everything went on sale apart from the Hazard kit, or did they then add that onto it as well?
No, it's it's that. You know what? I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
I mean, you can never tell, like with the Hazard kit. You've got to keep your eyes open because of the danger. Just got to. Sorry, it's the best joke I could make up. That I have limited material.
Yeah, nice try. We'll give that 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of a bad joke for INRA, but I'm failing.
You're thinking of the purple universe joke where you ain't got indigo then. But never mind. Right, moving on from there. I think before it gets too silly, we're going to take a break and then we'll come back with our main discussion.
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality, constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems in our human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become the commander and be free to blaze your own trail. Brewer Corporation, the first step into the unknown. Come join us.
be free.
From the makers of the MB5 shaving drone comes the latest in personal grooming technology. Here at Saracen, we've heard your request loud and clear. You want something new. Applying all the recent technological advances. Introducing the Panther Clipper. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. A shave so smooth it'll shave 10 milliseconds off your buckyball time. The new Panther Clipper from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for.
Sweet dreams, little ones. You rest up in your hangar bay, because in the morning you'll wake up to smell fresh laser fire, because you're in a Federal Corvette. And there's one thing that a core dynamic ship does well, and that's kill ships. Big ships, small ships, rings of ships. We even have a go at booping asteroids. Enemy shields down! Enemy dead! There's no further targets, Commander! That's all you'll ever have to say in a Federal Corvette. Core dynamics! Let's not talk about skimmers.
This is a public service announcement from the Fuel Rats. Please stop what you're doing and pay attention. If we can rescue you, we will, but you can help us help you by following these easy steps. 1. Fly 50 light seconds or so from the system's main star and drop out of supercruise. 2. Note down the current system and the nearest stellar body. 3. If you're on emergency life support, log out immediately. 4. Go to fuelrats.org and click Get Help. 5. Stay calm, hold your breath, and let our seasoned professionals do what they do best. The Fuel Rats. We have fuel, you don't. Any questions?
My dad taught me a lot of things. Good things, like how to avoid a Thargoid shutdown field. Always have a rebuy, and don't forget your limpets. But what he really showed me was a good gun in the right hand can win any fight. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, doesn't matter who you are, the best tool wins out every time. Don't take a risk, take the best. Kinematics. The Kinematic L6 will destroy anything on foot. High explosive, high damage, the only way to remove a target. Load up, lock on, take them out, and say goodbye. Make those bodies pile up just like Dad.
And welcome back, he says, being absolutely professional as possible, considering what some of the things I've just heard. Right, the main discussion is to catch Ben up to the current events with the help of SCORB and LCU, because there's been a lot happening. And as Ben has already said, the last thing he remembers is Salvation being blown to bits. So, the first question you've got, Ben, is Salvation still alive?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I am really not convinced that he's dead until we have independent verification of seeing a body.
So the Galnet article, which explained the independent crew, although they were hired by Azimuth, the independent crew went there and basically spotted the bodies of the Commodore and Salvation and confirmed them. That's not enough for you.
Well, that's like saying, we sent one of our bobbies that ran the corner. He saw Daddy Savlon, honest gov.
So, do you think it would be in Frontier's interest to actually put the character models in the bridge of the Sentinel, so that players can go up there and say, "Oh look, there's the dead bodies," just before some Thargoids jump in and blow them up.
I want to see Daddy Savlon's pickled cock in a jar for us to investigate. And then I might believe it.
Do you know it's his? It's pickled in a jar. It could be anyone's. It could be Peter Bloody Stringfellows for all you know.
Can I just say, as part of everybody in the chat room, welcome back, Ben. We've missed this level of uncomfortable smut.
Ben, you cannot say that. You cannot say it. It's preserved, not pickled, preserved.
So, yes.
Yeah, because pickled sounds like you're going to put it in a burger.
Oh no. I will never be able to eat a Greg's sausage sandwich again now. Thanks.
Preserved sounds like you made.
They
jam
said
out
I
of it.
couldn't do it. They said I
Paints
said
preserve us.
I said I think I might have broken Lave Radio a little bit.
No, Lave Radio broke itself mostly because of Ben.
Yeah.
We don't need any help to break ourselves.
Carry our own puncture repair kits, for goodness sake.
Right. So
Yeah, I
you don't believe it at all, then?
I'm not. I'm really not convinced.
No. Well,
yeah.
Until you can actually independently verify it yourself by flying there, you wouldn't be happy.
It has to be an explanation for why he was on the Nemesis, not the Bright Sentinel.
Even though the Nemesis is actually Arth's ship, and they were using it for filming.
Doesn't matter. He was on the.
They don't do anything.
He was on the
that.
Nemesis.
Oh dear.
Daddy Savlon was on the Nemesis, and this is also, the fact he called his ship Nemesis is kind of proof he's not working for us. If you ask me.
Have you ever seen Arth? Have you ever seen Arth and Salvation in the same room?
They do look awfully similar.
Oh no! We're not going there.
You can imagine Salvation saying,
we are not going there, Ben. You
means?
You shut that part of your brain off. No. Yes, Scob, you were saying.
I just seeing Daddy Savlon and Bricktop references here. I just can't help it. He's on the Nemesis. I bet in the back of the Nemesis he's got a lot of pigs. I don't know. He's not dead. I don't think he's dead.
You don't think Salvation's dead?
No,
then?
I think he's. No one lives to his ripe old age, fires off a test weapon, and goes, "Oops, that went wrong," without having contingency.
Yeah.
No, I reckon he's just run off with all that Guardian stuff we gave him, and he's sold it all, and he's like living the life of Riley now.
Yeah, he's either gone, sold it all off, and he's now on some pleasure planet like Hugh Hefner, or he's or he's like, well, that didn't work, and or it was intentional, and whoever the body was, who Salvation was being, maybe Salvation is the infection that controlled him, and
yeah, basically,
and it's gone somewhere else.
His super weapon is like the bomb on the roof of the Nakatomi Tower, isn't it? Really?
Yes.
Good story.
Wow. I mean, I'm loving where we're going with this. I mean, I'm loving the conspiracy theories here, but whoa. So after Salvation was effectively found dead, I'm using quotes here.
Yeah.
Basically, people started to notice that. Well, obviously, you were in the 22460 when it went to pot.
Yes, I was in I was in HIP 22460 when everything went boom.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and you are now aware of the 3 approaching UIAs.
yes.
Yep.
These are the Stargoids.
The so-called Stargoids,
The
yes.
swirly things.
Yeah, swirly thing alert,
Yeah, space cat buttholes.
as they'll now be known.
Yes.
And the Thargoids have started to effectively attack human systems again.
Unless they don't want to.
Yeah.
As we found out this week.
Now, there is something else which has been added, and that's these rogue signal sources which have appeared. Now, there's a word of warning to this. If you do drop out near one, it can cause crashes to desktop. And we're not going to discuss what those crash to desktops say, because that could be spoilers. But has anybody actually managed to get to one without it crashing to the desktop?
I did see a report from someone who said he got in, but he didn't actually see anything in there. But then some people.
Sorry, he managed to get into the
so
the
he
Stargoids frameshift area or something.
No, the rogue signal source that we're discussing.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
most what people have been saying is when they try and drop into the signal source, they get a crash to the desktop. But someone said that they'd managed to do it, but there was nothing there that they could see. But then also there have been these green clouds which don't seem to be consistently there. They kind of get brighter and darker, and but I've not really been able to keep up with it very much.
I wonder if
because of the
there's supposed to
problems
be
with
an
that.
asset there then. It's either badly
Yeah.
referenced or something. So maybe you're supposed to see something.
I
No,
think
no pointer exception or something.
Yeah.
I think you are, because what it says is it's missing a certain asset in the
Hold it.
in the error log. And the
Yeah.
thing is, if I mentioned what that missing asset is, it's a spoiler.
Maybe they fixed that with the patch that just dropped.
When you say just,
when did you mean just?
I thought the patch was quite recent. Was with the no bug.
You mean
fixes
that'd be Friday's one or Thursday's one or whatever it was, the
There's
2
when-
gig secret one.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
2 gig. No, this
Yeah.
is a these
This is since then.
I
yeah,
think
the
this
rogue
needs a
signal
hot
sources.
fix.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
don't think there's been a hot fix.
Not. Yeah, I've only had one update to do. I think.
Yeah, because I mean that's the one thing, because these rogue signal sources appeared. Everybody started, dropping into them, but of course everyone would crash with its error message and then get excited. But then obviously, yeah.
So I
And I was
just
just curious.
saw there's a hack journalist, absolutely disreputable. Peter Wotherspoon was actually inside an RSS for several hours, but it was empty. But he did shoot a video of the Stargoid passing by.
Yeah. I mean, I must admit there was I think that was Factopulus. He had his fleet carrier placed in just the right place to see the Stargoid just go flying past. That was on the forums. It looked amazing.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, the state of play, Ben, at the moment is we got our ass kicked, and now they're coming for us, I think, is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And
fairly slowly though, from what I understand.
yeah,
this is big. It's really big.
Well, there's the really big versus really far away. Yeah.
The one thing I think that the reason why it's been a bit slow up till now is that I think that Frontier have been waiting for 4.0 to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Once 4.0 is released, then I think we'll see I'm hoping for a pickup in the storyline, the speed of the storyline.
Because there's quite a lot of systems to get through, though, isn't there? I mean, if it's going to come all the way to the bubble, but they do change speeds, so and they could speed up.
I mean, do you think they'll do it, by releasing 4.0, or do you think they'll eventually reach their destination with the update that we're going to be getting in November-ish?
Well, this is the thing, because didn't someone work out that the speed it's going, if it could, the three of them could actually hit the bubbles sometime around November.
Yeah.
Which would fit with patch cycles.
Yeah, it would fit with patch cycles, but I feel that, well, I hope they're going to do something more with it than before then, because otherwise it's, that is the long time. I mean, as much as I enjoyed the run up to Salvation firing his weapon, I did feel that it just was a little bit too long.
Well, I think
They
they
kinda
have a
stretched
dilemma,
it out
don't
a
they?
bit too much.
They have a dilemma, don't they? Because it's a big galaxy, and people want to see these things, and they need time to kind of get back and see them. And I missed most of the 22460 stuff because I was out at Vulcan Gate looking for a green gas giant. So I could have got back in time to kind of enjoy it all if I wanted to. But
Well, this is why you need 20 alts.
Exactly. Well, 42.
Yeah, 42 alts. Yeah. So we have a. Let's transfer your console commander over so that you can just have do several things at once.
Well, I was thinking actually, because you get to keep your Xbox at the same time, don't you?
You do.
Can you transfer it like 42 times? I think I'm going to try.
No,
one
you can only do
time
it once.
only.
Damn it.
Yeah, sorry. That's one of the things they've put in the FAQ. You can only transfer your commander once, and that's it. So Ben, have you got any questions about what's been happening then? You've got Scorb and you've got LCU here, prime knowledge factories of.
I mean, it's my idea of one concern actually is like, are the old worlds actually standing up for the Alliance imposing what the hell they're called again?
Sirius
twats on them as a security force, or is anything going on with that? That's actually I'm more concerned about that than I am about the Thargoids coming.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I don't trust the Alliance, and I really don't trust Sirius.
I don't trust the Alliance because they're in bed with Sirius, and I don't trust Sirius.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing that you should mention that was on the 7th of September, Mahan rebuking the Imperial isolation. He's trying to push forward the Sirius Treaty, which he proposed in the Galactic Summit in 3307. So he's trying to create this cross superpower priority, as he says. But all he said is he underlined the fact that he's found that this has worked with the Sirius Corporation. So it sounds to me as if the Mahan is quite happy to be in bed with Sirius.
But it doesn't mean to say he's got rights to base them in independent systems.
Well, he's got rights to base it in any alliance.
You can put them in alliance systems, but not in independent systems.
Well, who says he's putting them in independent systems?
The one they're being parked up in Leasty and things like that.
Leasty's not an independent system; it's alliance.
Was it?
Yes.
I could have sworn they're doing stuff in independent places.
Nope. They tried it. They put it in Riot, which is an alliance.
Maybe it's Riot that I was thinking.
Yeah, and the people of Riot said no, Sirius is not staying here.
Yeah.
So they moved all their operations to Leasty, which is an alliance system.
Okay, well that's fair enough then, I guess.
Seems to be happy.
I don't know if what Psychic is saying in chat is a question or an order. Penis in capital letters. I don't know what to make of this.
No, not that.
I think someone's been on the gin too much.
Oh, right, because I'm confused as to direction.
Yeah, we don't know. Is she trying to order something? Is she just calling us something? I don't know. Is it a request that she's putting in on through Deliveroo? We don't know.
You could order penises on Deliveroo? Why didn't I know this before?
All of a sudden, I know that Ben is suddenly looking that up. I just know it.
Thankfully, the stream can see what I'm doing.
But Ben, are you confused because I'm on here and you think we're in Dockers or something? Is that?
Oh, I just try to bring us into Dockers all the time anyway.
Yeah, I know, and it is such an effort to make sure he doesn't. It's awful. Right. Well, I think we're going to move on from bringing Ben up to date because, as everybody knows, he's just got one thing on his mind, and yeah, time to move on. The community corner. Right. Well, yes, Canon has had a bad time this week. As is probably aware, the Canon Discard has gone, mostly due to a bad phishing scam. But we do have a new Canon server. Is that not right, LCU?
Not yet. Well, we leapt slowly into action and added some channels to our alert server, which is normally there's no chat on there at all. It's just basically every time someone finds something, the plugin automatically posts to the alert channel to say, "Oh, we found
gotcha."
Biology or whatever." So because we already had that server there, and we had quite a few people on there already. Kind of used it as a refugee camp, set up some emergency channels, put together some moderators, so everyone carried on there almost as if it hadn't happened, which was, I mean, it was really great to see people just, carrying on doing exactly what they were doing on the other server. So we're currently in the process of building some new servers. We've got a security conscious build going on to basically isolate stuff and prevent this sort of thing from happening again, because no matter how careful you are, it only takes one person to make a mistake and that's it. If they're a privileged user, you're stuffed. I mean, I was actually online and chatting in the server when it happened, and it's like I saw the chat rooms moving around, and then suddenly the whole lot just disappeared one by one in the space of about 10 seconds.
Oof.
It's pretty. I mean, I think I guess people are upset that there's 5 years of chat on there, but most of it was nonsense anyway. So and we've anything important we try and put onto the.
You've got a new website, don't you?
Yeah. And
where can we find your website again, LCU?
Canon.science. That's it.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got lots of things that we're working out, and actually it's going to be quite nice to have a sort of new broom, as it were, and start fresh. And
I mean, I have to admit, actually, without blowing smoke up your ass, the Canon.science website is a lovely place just to find information out, and usually you've got citations, and if there's audio recordings, you can find them there, and it's a great resource for all of us, really.
Yeah, and I must admit,
so thank you for that.
Yeah, and I'd just like to thank you for the Stargoid tracker, because basically that is a fantastic piece of work slash.
That's
code.
that 3D map.
Yeah.
I'm having a bit of trouble now because so many people are getting hyper addicted that it's actually slowing down the query. So I'm going to have to do a bit of work on that to speed it up.
Have to optimize it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, fair play. It looks a very nice piece of code there from a professional point of view. So,
well, to be honest, it's quite old. I mean, the basis for those maps have been around for a very long time now, and it is getting there's a lot of stuff that needs revamping and fixing and updating, and not enough people really. We don't have as many developers as we used to have, and I feel like I'm tinkering with ancient technology from the aliens, because I can sort of make these things do stuff that I want, and that's fine, but I don't really understand it. But I do have help from Commander Hurix, who actually put all this stuff together. He did a great job. Really, really good.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we'll have a server back and everybody back to the usual tinfoil hattery soon enough. But
Scob, I believe, has a quick question for LCU, which is probably quite relevant and pertinent and things.
Yeah, actually, as like, because one, I take my hat off to Canon for all the work that they have done over the years, and like have helped us to solve so many things in the game. You're quite clearly, demonstrably a smart bunch, and if this can happen to you guys, it can happen to anyone. So, do you have like some quick tips? So how to stop this kind of thing for those who run their own Discord servers, like myself included. It's not a plug, but like, do you have some tips to help us to secure our Discord servers to make sure that this doesn't happen to other people? Obviously, you can't stop all of it.
Well, to be honest, we're still learning about it, but the first thing that we've done is create accounts for owning the Discord that don't get used day to day. So if you create an account, a separate account, you set up all the permissions, you restrict admin access to as few people as possible, and you basically hand it out when and as needed.
Right.
You basically try and reduce the number of places where these things can, where these errors can occur. But by having an account that never actually gets used, that account is, because it's the server owner, if someone does let something in, it won't be able to completely take over the server.
Fair. That's
I'm assuming from that then that the server owner got compromised as well, yeah?
We believe so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so but the other thing that we're going to do is set up a template. So what you can do is you can set up your server, create a template, and that will allow you to create another server very, very quickly that mirrors the first one. I mean, you're not going to get all the data, all the chat back, but it'll just, you'll have all the rooms there and everything ready to go. So the answer is to have the lifeboats ready. So we're looking at a lot of different things and restricting it. And one of the things we've done is we used to have the moderators and that on the main server. We used to have their own chat rooms for doing moderation type stuff. What we've decided now is to put that on a completely different server. And none of them, we've taken away all their security passes, and in fact nobody on the server is able to do anything except for talk to each other, but because we all know each other, we don't need to have any admin on there. And again, it's the server owner is a secret account that nobody can get to, and that way if any of the moderators get compromised, there's nothing that can happen to that server because obviously they've got no privileges.
Any ideas how the how it was compromised?
Well, we think. I mean, it's really hard to talk about this because obviously people feel like they're having the finger pointed at them.
Yeah, please.
So yeah, and
don't want to put anyone on the spot.
For my colleagues who are listening, I'm not pointing the finger. But this seems to me what may have happened. That we did find a link that was on the server. That link, where it was put, must have been put there probably by an account that was compromised already, because it was a restricted, well, not restricted area, but it was somewhere that only staff would be able to post. And that link was it was basically a command that installs a bot on the server. So someone must have clicked on it. It's bypassed all of the authorization, and then that's what took over the server. And we're not sure. We think it may have escalated privileges, or it may have just used privileges that the person who clicked on it had.
Right.
But then whoever then got control of the server basically cleared off everything, put on a verify link, and started spamming lots of other groups with links to join the Discord. And of course, if anybody actually clicked on that link to verify, the scammer then basically got control of their account. And we understand quite a few people who have Nitro ended up having money taken from them.
Horrible.
Yeah, I mean they're all being refunded by Discord. So yeah, there's no harm to them, I guess, other than the annoyance. But yeah, so what we think happened is it was basically we were targeted because it was a big busy server, and it was basically criminal intent to steal people's money effectively.
Yeah.
But what gets me is that it took 30 hours for Discord to shut it down, and not only that, but it was costing Discord money because they're having to refund people
all the time.
and it's just the mind boggles that they couldn't just shut that thing down straight away. And as far as we know, they don't have backups, so we're not expecting to get it back. If we do get it back, fantastic. But we've got a more secure backup site ready to go. So,
well, I'm sorry that it's happened. It's been like all anyone's been talking about on a couple of the Discords I'm involved in. We've been terrified trying to sort out how can we stop this from happening to us. How can we make sure that our people are safe? I've even reset my credentials and logged out of all devices just in case I had been compromised. Because people are just afraid. Like people who own Discord, if it can happen to you guys, and that's why I say you guys are smart. You already had it well sorted out. Now you've gone at it full on. Nobody gets the keys. The keys are in this locked room, and only this one man who none of you know has the keys.
I always have to say this, but I wouldn't say we're smart. We've just got very good PR, I think. There are science groups, other science groups in Elite Dangerous who are equally as smart as us.
I'm not saying other people aren't smart. Just because one person's smart doesn't make everyone else Mr. Thicky of Captain Thicktown of Thickville. It just means that I'm giving you a compliment. Take it as it is.
But we are in the top 1% of all.
Then you got a question.
Sorry, I was just going to say one more thing. So if people are worried, the main thing is, one, get two-factor authentication. This is where you use a little app and do follow all the steps. So make sure that you back up your emergency restoration keys. Otherwise, you could lose your account. And the other thing is never, ever use the QR codes to log in, especially if it's not through the app itself. If you use the QR codes, that's the way they get in, as the Thargoids discovered, according to that tweet the other day. So I thought was bloody hilarious. Even you might think I thought it was a bit painful, but no, it is funny.
I hate QR codes. They just we all learn, don't we, what a phishing attempt URL looks like in the browser. Some bonkers place in deepest, darkest somewhere /BBC.
Farouk.bbc.
Yeah, and you go, oh, it's the BBC. No, it's not. You can see all the other stuff. But if it's a QR code, you don't have a cat and else.
You don't know what you're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you can read binary in whatever format that is, unless your eyes are actual barcode scanners.
Can't you read it?
Is it just me then?
Yeah, no, to be honest though, the problem is not really QR itself. It's the fact that Discord just basically goes off and does its thing without actually showing you what it's doing. So the problem is Discord's problem. It's not, because normally if I use a QR code reader, it shows me the URL. I get to look at it and decide whether it's safe to click on or not. But with Discord, it's like, oh, here's a QR code. I'm just going to go and give you my passwords now.
Yeah,
because that never goes wrong.
That's a fundamental design flaw. They should never allow any kind of thing like that to be able to send a completely different, a third party, essentially your session token. It's just horrific design.
Right, Ben, you've got one quick question, have you?
Yeah, I was wondering actually. What I did have a question. Oh,
Sorry, all those medical pictures you had stored on our server, they're gone too.
They're all gone too. Yeah, no, it wasn't that. Oh God, what was it?
I'm going to have to hurry you.
Whatnot.
Well, if you lot stop blathering and let me actually try and remember what it was, it'll come back to me. I'll come back to it and I'll remember it at some other point. I can't remember what it was now. It was.
Oh, okay.
I remember what it was.
Do we know? Yeah. Do we know? Okay.
No, you don't. No. One thing that I was gutted about is this whole thing has basically meant that our server, where I've usually been quite happy and encouraging people, please, if you have a Discord server, share it. And we've had to go off and remove all that kind of stuff. And only we can, I know Ventura was like, well, we've still got 7 people who are, all the members of the Orange Sidewinder can go and do it, but as Ventura was saying, that's 7 people too many. But I think it's such a shame though that we're having to lock things up like that, which I'm gutted about.
Well, the other thing that happened, of course, is it deleted all the images, and some of those images were linked to other sites like the GEC. So some of the GEC pictures are gone and going to need to be recreated.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're going to move on from the unfortunate cannon incident. Yeah. Now, another thing that's happening next week, starting on the 16th of September to the 30th, there is Operation Reforge Aegis. This is in the Pleiades Nebula. The Allies of Justice of Aegis and Humanity are organizing this. Operation Reforge Aegis is a rallying cry for any remaining Aegis loyalists, fans, or potential financial backers to rally behind the creation of an independent Aegis through the Aegis Research Faction. This initial effort is a 2-week focused effort to stabilize and strengthen the Aegis Research Faction in the Pleiades Nebula. After the initial push, anyone wishing to remain to keep supporting them is encouraged to remain and keep supporting them with their efforts. The superpowers may have abandoned Aegis, but they are still those who believe in the cause. Join us today. So that's that is also.
Who thinks this is a good idea, and what have they been smoking?
Well, I would probably join in with that, to be honest. Yeah, that's basically it's on the player events part of the Elite Dangerous website. It's one of the webs that the events that they're advertising. So if you want to pop along and join in on that, they start on the 16th. Now, I've been contacted by the CQC Discord. The people that prefer a bit of CQC action. They have started a Thursday CQC Capture the Flag event every Thursday from now on. It will be running on the PC. It's going to be Horizon's 3.8 version only, so that's the base level, so everyone's got that. And it'll be doing capture of the flag from 6 or 1800 hours UTC to 2000 hours or 8 p.m. UTC, and so that's happening. More the merrier. Also on every Friday, the AXI are doing Finance Friday this Friday, which is Defend 42N Percy. They have a whole load of rewards lined up for people if you want to take part. And there's also Swarm Sunday, which is basically anti-Xeno ships, small anti-Xeno ships for everybody else. So we'll just quickly move on to any other business. Now, I spotted Odyssey for half price on the Humble Bundle. Would that be of interest to anybody?
No, because I've got it on everything. But if I didn't, then maybe.
Is that just on Steam or is it on any platform? Because I already have it on 2 of my accounts. I have a third that I don't have it on. So would that work for me with my third account?
I don't know. I don't know what they've got it set up to link to.
You also have to remember that Frontier allow you to... You bat your eyelids at Frontier and they go and say, well, yes, we can move your account from here to there.
I don't like to bat my eyelids at Frontier. I like them to do things because they're nice people.
Well, that works too.
Well,
or you could make an open letter.
Oh God!
I've only done that once. Well, it was a video. Only done it once, and because it was really important to me. But
yeah. In other news, Star Wars Squadrons is on sale on Steam, which is always it's a fantastic thing to play.
If you don't have that, try that in VR Scorp.
Oh, is this the game that when it first came out, they said, yeah, we released this game and we are never doing anything with it again?
Yes.
That's the one, and then they did a couple of things.
I don't trust them. I'm sorry, that's me.
That's just me. Fair enough, but it's still a bloody good game. You are flying a TIE fighter or an X-Wing. It is bloody brilliant.
And I must admit, next to Elite Dangerous, it's the best space VR experience I've got.
Okay.
Yeah. So for basically for £8, mate, it's worth it.
Oh, very good. I bought it full price, but then when they said no, we're not doing anything else, I'm like, oh, but this is such a great platform. You could do things with. I refunded it. I just refunded
Wow.
it.
Oh, and like I said, pick it up again for £8. Play it in VR. Trust me.
And finally, X4 is on sale on GOG for £16 instead of $50. So, yeah. So if it's,
can somebody tell me about X4? Because I've heard good things, but I don't know where exactly it lies in the scheme of stuff.
It is a single-player space combat, trading, piracy.
Empire builder.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Takes some getting into. It's not for the faint of heart. And
I think I've played X or X2 or something like that.
Yeah,
but I never.
Same guys as Egosoft.
Yeah, I never sort of continued on with them. I didn't play them for that much.
I was going to say the X series has been around for years, though.
It has.
Yeah,
I think I don't get on with X4, but I bought it anyway, and I bought all the expansions because I love the company and I want to support them because I like what they're doing, and I
you like what they're doing, just not their game.
I just wish the flight model was more like Elite. I've been spoiled.
I can understand that.
By Elite.
That's where it comes.
It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
Some very quick breaking news as well. Shassamage is telling us that OD is 45% off on Steam as well. So you can get Odyssey for $21.99.
Right. Excellent. Well, moving on from there, does anybody else have any other business before I carry on with the shout-outs?
Yes, Operation Constellation from the East India Company has begun as of yesterday and goes on for 1 month. It's where you can get free engineering unlocked materials through the EIC trading post. There is a post that's been posted on Reddit, I think. All you have to do is mention Operation Constellation when you place your order. So if you have a commander or an alt or whoever who needs to unlock some engineering, you know the place to be.
Excellent. Right. Well, quickly we'll go through the shout-outs. As you know, the Dex Island have taken a well-earned break for the Dex Legacy. So for those of you who were listening earlier, we've rerun some old Escape Velocity, which I haven't heard for quite a while. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30 You can tune in at twitch.tv Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/EliteDangerousCQC. We're going to have to double check that link. People are complaining that it's not working anymore, but we'll sort it. We'll sort that one out. We're also giving shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. So that would be Flight Assist, the Guard Frequency, and of course, Loose Screws. Now, following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And for those of you who are chipped in on the Twitch chat and the in-game commanders, who have we got, Ben?
So it's
trying to put me
myself, Chris, Mac, Scorb, Miggles has been around, and let me just bring that up if I can find it again. No, not there. Get up there. Miggles was around, Zorg the Borg, Misha Nagibanya, Commander Vader was hanging around the bar. A Lone Wolf was hanging around the bar. So yeah.
Cyber Hunter, Black Knight 7607.
Well, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining and keeping Ben company. We will just say special thanks, of course, also goes to Commander Tokuso, Jay and Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have created music for this show. However, that is it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, email info@Lave Radio. Hit us up at facebook.com/Lave Radio or tweet us at Lave Radio. And you can join our Discord server by going to discord.io/Lave Radio. We also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders like to hang out and chat, which you can find at teamspeak.laveradio.com. And please do get in touch with if you've got any questions that you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Now, Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out to laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Ben, brackets, pauses for Ben to reply and say goodnight.
Oh, good night for Colin, and thank you very much for having me. You can have me anytime.
And people said this was a good idea. Right. Thanks to Commander Ascorbius.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks to LCU.
Thank you very much.
And of course, thanks to Mac Winston.
Yes, thank you very much.
And special thanks, of course, goes to today's tech specialist, which will be the Chris Mark IV.
Thank you, Colin. You can have me on a free weekly basis.
Who said this was a good idea? Anyway, until next time, commanders, fly safe. If you can't do that, fly dangerous.
I just flipped my tank upside down.
Hold on, we're being shot at.
How are you being shot at?
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted into them. Need a safe word. Space can be lonely. I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Right. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
The Azimuth Saga, Part 8. Unmasking the Witch. In our last episode, we described how an ancient prototype weapon using Guardian technology was adapted by the secretive scientist Salvation into a new superweapon that he eventually named the Proteus Wave. The superpowers gave him their unconditional support. Things were going pretty well for the self-proclaimed saviour of humanity. But evidence was starting to mount that Salvation wasn't all that he pretended to be. Could he ride out these reverses? Could he retain the support of the superpowers and of commanders? Could he deploy the Proteus Wave weapon to bring an end to the Second Thargoid War? The last gasp for Aegis, as it was suspended and then shut down, was Admiral Aidan Tanner's attempt in November 3307 to use force to get Taurus Mining Ventures at Hind Mine in Titori to reveal information about Salvation. The conflict went badly for Tanner. He lost his megaship, the Musashi, to Salvation supporters, and he was court-martialed by the Federation for disobeying orders and entering into a conflict without authority. The wreck of the Aegis megaship Alexandria, the loss of which led to the inquiry and the shutting down of Aegis, was discovered just a month later in December 3307. There were no survivors and all the cargo was missing. The logs recovered from the wreck suggested that the ship was sabotaged, perhaps to steal the valuable cargo of Guardian technology, perhaps to paint Aegis in a bad light. Logs recovered from the site suggested that someone called the Witch was responsible for the piracy.
This is Captain Morales. The unidentified ships hailed us, claimed a problem with our FSD was detected just before the failed hyperspace jump. Someone called the Witch had arranged the rescue operation and spent a month tracking us down. I gave the order to resist. Not many of us had weapons, but my crew, trust me, we fought hard, but they were better equipped and well-trained. I managed to secure a rear guard as we funneled everyone we could to the back of the ship, towards the engineering deck. The main entrance is defensible, and the hatches have been barricaded. Bernier managed to grab a captive, too. I'll get some answers out of them soon. It must be the Guardian artifacts they're after. They're the only items on board valuable enough to kill for... no, slaughter for.
The crew of the Alexandria took a captive who died with them after their attempt to escape failed. Captain Morales noticed something curious.
The captive didn't give us much. Just a name, age, rank. Nothing about the organization that hired him. We roughed him up a bit, but he still wouldn't spill. The only interesting thing he said was after I warned him that the amount of Guardian tech his friends were stealing would probably attract Thargoids. The guy smiled and said that was the point all along. Anyway, we've left him tied up.
The Witch was also the person in charge of the cruel experiments of Project Seraph that were discovered when Hyford's cache was unlocked. The Witch was associated with the 200-year-old company Azimuth Biochemicals. Who the Witch was remained a mystery. The revelation that the Alexandria had not been lost as a consequence of bad management came too late to save Aegis. This suited Salvation perfectly, making him the only remaining hope for defeating the Thargoids. He was making good progress perfecting what would become the Proteus Wave weapon, the weapon to wipe out the Thargoids forever. In June 3308, a truly astonishing set of logs from 150 years ago was uncovered at a previously unknown INRA base, Iraxan Lane, in the DG Canum Venaticorum system. They were found as a result of a tip-off given to former Aegis Head of Research, Professor Albert Tesreau, by a former Project Seraph test subject, known as D2. The logs were recorded by a Dr. Caleb Wycherley of Azimuth Biochemicals, and they're worth playing in full, drawing together as they do so many threads.
This is Caleb Wycherley, Vice President of Research at Azimuth Biochemicals. I've been assigned oversight of our work with INRA over the next few months. While the financial aspects of the contract are considerable, there is much to be gained from this new partnership. INRA possesses a number of remarkable talents with whom a positive working relationship will benefit Azimuth's continued growth. The opportunities of such a network will help establish a market lead over Pharmsapien. Perhaps in time that second-rate company will learn its place in the broader picture. One can hope, at least. Azimuth's role in the anti-Thargoid initiative is encouraging. But this ongoing war is tiresome. The resources spent on proving that humanity is the dominant species in the galaxy would be better served elsewhere. I find the Thargoids' persistent aggression towards us offensive. INRA's work may be the best chance we have to end the conflict. On that note, Azimuth will help the development of a biological weapon. We have several potential compounds which show some promise. Our expertise in biochemical research will no doubt prove valuable to the initiative. I'm eager to see what the future holds. A fortuitous development has occurred. Lady Luck smiles upon us. Our biological weapons research has shown limited success up to now. However, a research assistant of INRA has stumbled upon the incredible potential of a fungus, of all things. An agricultural experiment involving Thargoid technology revealed the fungus's highly damaging properties. I understand the researcher had to bypass his superior to bring this discovery to light. A weaker-willed individual would have disregarded the results as instructed. Fortunate for us, this man is made of sterner stuff. I expect the researcher will receive little official recognition, however. It's amusing, really. This man may have uncovered the means of ending the war, yet the nature of INRA's work will ensure that humanity never knows his name. The subsequent meeting about this fungus's potential for weaponization was enlightening. From the very specific wording used by lead INRA figures, I suspect that information is being withheld from subcontractors such as myself. Understandable, of course. Still, I have a strong suspicion that INRA possesses at least one live Thargoid specimen. I'm keen to witness a live test on Thargoid physiology. I'll spend the evening with my peers. It shouldn't be too difficult to persuade them that my presence would be beneficial for such a test. The live Thargoid test was fascinating, to say the least. The new scar across my face is evidence of that. I arrived shortly before the test was scheduled to take place. As the fungal compound, now termed mycoid, was prepared, the Thargoid specimen broke out of its holding cell, the last in a series of escape attempts. There were multiple fatalities, and I am fortunate not to be counted among them. Medical treatment was a success, though my left eye will need further surgical attention. The creature was savage and difficult to subdue. One wonders how these mindless things develop the impressive technology they use. Despite my injury, I was ready to return for the introduction of the mycoid compound. The results were exactly as hoped, resulting in the Thargoid's demise. Some INRA personnel have requested transfers away from the project, citing the ethical concerns of living test subjects. These people clearly lack the will to protect humanity by any means necessary. The mycoid compound has been approved for mass production at several INRA facilities. Azimuth's contribution to the manufacturing process has been noted. It now falls to my team to propose methods of delivering the compound to Thargoid targets. A missile seems the logical solution, though questions of mycoid containment and virulence upon impact must first be answered. The meeting with leading INRA figures has concluded. Final preparations of the mycoid weapon are underway at Tail Keep. The plan is to send a long vessel towards the Thargoid hive ship that recently attacked Carmichael Point. Not many pilots possess the courage or the skill to complete such a mission. I suspect that a member of the Pilots Federation will be required, given the challenges of this assignment. A list of potential candidates is being drawn up. I've reviewed the classified documentation related to the mycoid weapon's payload. For such a highly secretive organization, INRA's network security protocols took only a few hours to bypass. It seems INRA leaders anticipate the mycoid virus will inflict significant damage to not only the mothership, but also its occupants. The payload has been specifically designed to do so. While I approve of the decision to eradicate the many Thargoids on board, communication records reveal a convoluted discussion to reach agreement on this tactic. I wonder why the decision to strike a decisive blow against our enemy was such a difficult one. Earlier today, I secured a regular supply of progenitor cells. My recent brush with death served as a reminder of my own mortality. And there is far too much work to do in a typical human lifespan. The operation to fully restore my sight was a success, but has left my eye completely white. This appears to have prompted a new nickname among my staff, some of who are now referring to me as the Witch. The wordplay is amusing, I suppose, but perhaps such a pseudonym will have its uses. The mycoid weapon has been successfully delivered by Commander John Jameson. The brave pilot did not return home. A shame. I would have liked to shake the hand of a man who has contributed so profoundly to the end of the Thargoid War. Reports suggest that the remaining Thargoid forces are in full retreat from human space. Some INRA personnel are convinced this is a decisive victory, from which the Thargoids will not recover. But I disagree. It is likely they will resurface in time, too impudent to accept human dominance. We must prepare for that eventuality. INRA has served its purpose, but the cross-superpower nature of the organization leaves it vulnerable to corruption and politics. Azimuth is well suited to take up the mantle of protecting humanity against any Thargoid retaliation. Our rivals, such as Pharmasapien, cannot be trusted with this task. They lack the patience and the stomach for what is required. Only Azimuth, under my direction, will be capable of the necessary action to wipe the Thargoid race out forever. If I must be humanity's salvation, then so be it.
If these logs were to be believed, then the person the superpowers had put all their faith in to rescue humanity from the Thargoids, Salvation, was the same person as Dr. Caleb Wycherley of Azimuth Biochemicals, the witch who'd tortured so many people at Oaken Point and who'd ordered the piracy of the Alexandria with the loss of all 4,000 crew. Someone with an almost pathological hatred for the Thargoids, willing to do anything to defeat them, and who'd already been complicit in an attempt at xenocide 50 years ago when INRA wiped out a Thargoid hive ship using the mycoid virus. Someone who was using Guardian technology to lure Thargoids to attack inhabited systems. Salvation was morally reprehensible, and the superpowers should have put some distance between them and Salvation immediately. But they were already too far invested in his plan to wipe out the Thargoids in HIP 22460 and end the war. The superpowers remained loyal to Salvation, even as he admitted who he was and renamed his faction Taurus Mining Ventures as Azimuth Biotech, the former research arm of Azimuth Biochemicals. Salvation had admitted his true identity, and he dodged the bullet. Despite opposition from some commanders appalled at Salvation's past behaviour, things were going his way. Preparations began for the Proteus wave to be constructed and fired in the HIP 22460 system. Nothing now could stop Salvation.